welcome back, viewers, to the TBS series. Again, my name is Ify. I'm your host, your advocate for a better society. I just like to remind you what the TBS stands for. It means towards a better society. So, what we do with this series is just trying to talk through, different things that happen in our everyday life, and to be able to give you better solutions, to be able to help better inform you, so that way you can make the best decisions as you go in life. And of course, we're here again with another wonderful topic for you. It's on investment. Trust me, it's going to be something that will be beneficial to you. So, we want to talk more about owning a home. Most of us travel out of our home country to different countries, and one investment we've heard about that is, it's something that people would like to indulge in. Obviously, something that is wealth generational. It's home ownership. So, I want to talk a little bit more on home ownership and see, what are the benefits of owning a home. And today, of course, to discuss this topic here with me today, I have a wonderful person who is in our midst, who has been in this business for 5 years and counting, and definitely with tangible results to his name. His name is Oluseun Odewale, and he's here to talk through this topic today with us. Oluseun, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Ify. I appreciate it.
All right, awesome. And we know in this day and age, a lot of people talk about owning a home, owning a home. I mean, if you just want to quickly just take a deep dive into what it means for you to say, I own a home.
Awesome. That's a very big
Especially in this part of the world.
Absolutely. I mean, I totally agree with you 100%.
Yes.
You see, for me, okay, so this is kind of the way I put it. Owning a home, especially owning your first home, should do three things for you. One, it should give you a sense of fulfillment. For sense of fulfillment from the standpoint of now I own a home to my name. I own a house to my name. One. Secondly, you should give it that space where you can live out your dream. The reason you're buying a house is because you have a vision for your family. You feel like your kids should be living in a particular type of environment, and you also want to live in a particular kind of environment. And thirdly, it's a foundation for building wealth, because one, your real estate investment is increasing in value on a yearly basis and all that. And I think for me, that's foundational to real estate investment. They should be able to at least fulfill those three parameters for you to start with.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and I like that you said that. I mean, I was going to also ask the next question, which would obviously be on investment. Would you say owning a home is a good investment?
Oh yeah, without any doubt.
There's so many things we could invest in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the funny thing about this is I actually just attended a world building training today, and I was there for 4 hours. Even though I thought I knew a lot before, I just it felt very childish to see that. Okay, I didn't know as much.
You don't know as much as you think you do. Okay.
And the biggest takeaway from this world building summit was the need to create a wealth plan.
That's generational.
And so at the course of the week, I was just thinking about this. I mean, there's so many things talking about investment that's been going into my head. It's almost like a cliche these days. Everywhere you go, everybody wants to build generational wealth and all of that. And a question dropped in my mind, and the question was like, okay, you want to build generational wealth? Have you built a generational foundation?
Okay. Okay. So there are two different things here, right?
Yeah, you see, okay. So and the reason I mentioned this is the world summit I attended to be just kind of painted that picture for me, because there are things that are foundational to building wealth. Is not, I mean, buying one house, buying two houses could be the way to go, but there are still things that are foundational to it. You need to have a plan.
If the foundation be faulty.
And I remember the one thing I say when people come to me and say, "Oh, how was the market? I want to invest." I'm always like, "Okay, what's your investment objective?"
Very important.
Yeah. What are you looking to achieve? Are you trying to build a portfolio? Are you just trying to get into the market, buy something, flip it, and go? Or I mean, those things should be predefined. Or are you just trying to get into short-term rentals, Airbnb, VRBOs, and stuff like that? You need to define those things, so that, because that's the reason why you need to have a wealth plan.
This is awesome.
So that if you are guided, you're not just kind of, they say there's money, they say Airbnb, there's money, Airbnb, you rush to Airbnb, they say there's money in flipping, you run.
You want to run there. I mean that's a very good one that you brought up. I mean, now that I even have you, let's hear a little bit about that. So owning a home is not just owning a home. There are different reasons why somebody would want to. Yeah. So you've mentioned quite a number of things just now. Do you want to take your time to explain them? So when you say buy a home to flip, what does that mean? Buy a home for rental. What does that mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Buying a home to flip, for instance, is maybe you're buying a house that is run down, or there's some foreclosure that is broken down, and you're able to run the numbers. You feel like, okay, if you buy at a particular price and you throw in an X amount into it to update it, that you still be able to sell for a profit. So you're probably looking at a 90, anywhere between a 96 months plan, a 90 days to 180 day plan, where you're thinking, okay, I'm going to buy these at maybe, for instance, I'm just plugging numbers in the air, say 200, and you're thinking, okay, if I fix the house for like 30 grand, I should still
You
be able
can
to sell
still
for like
make some
260 or
profits.
270.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, so that's, I mean, and you're looking to do that within the shortest possible time so that you could do a quick turnover and get
So it's a
get
buy and sell.
buy and sell, buy, fix and buy
Fix and sell.
sell. Yeah, so that's why I call it flip. Buy, fix, and flip.
Okay.
Yeah. So short-term rent houses, people who invest in the Airbnbs, buy houses, and they now use it as Airbnbs or VRB. Or VRBOs are more vacation oriented, like lake homes and stuff like that. But overall, the whole segment of market is referred to as short-term rentals.
So you still own the home.
You
It's
still
just
own the
as
home.
you own it, you just rent it out.
You're just renting out, so it's generating cash flow.
There you go.
And of course, it's still building equity on the other side. So yeah, so short-term rentals are more cash flow driven. The goal is
Okay.
to see, okay, I mean, you're probably making more money you will make than if you
Than
just
if you-
rented it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But some other people prefer to build portfolios. Is okay, like say for instance, you buy a house right now. Maybe you have a primary residence where you stay with your family. You're looking, okay, let me start with buying a townhouse, maybe like a 250 town or a 2 bedroom townhouse, and you have someone renting. You know, so the goal is just to make sure that, okay, the rent is able to cover the mortgage, and you still probably have some extra for cash flow. The house is still in your name, it's still yours, but someone is helping you pay the mortgage.
Oh, I see.
So now you're leveraging OPM.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and OPM, please. What does that mean?
Other people's money.
Oh, there you go. All right, I like that one. That's a very good option. I like that one. All right, so I mean, having said all of this, and I'm just thinking in my head. You've given me quite a number of options, and there's something very interesting. Maybe I don't have that much money. I have just maybe like 1,000 to 5,000 in my account. Which of these ones, if I were to come to you and say, hey, Olu, I want to get something. I want to go into house ownership or probably house investment. What would be the route to go?
You see, so I mean, so like I started with, for me, first thing I want to do I want to know is what's your goal? What are you trying to achieve?
There you go.
Let's discuss that. I don't feel like I'm in a position where I can advise you, go do this, go do that. I feel like, first of all, let me know what you want to do and let me be able to guide you to do
guide
it.
you.
Okay, this is what you're trying to achieve. Okay, if this is what you're trying to achieve, maybe you should be doing this. And because you see, when it comes to investment, we all have different investment strategies and we have different investment tolerance. That's why even when you're buying stocks or you're dealing with people who trade stocks, they'll ask for your investment tolerance. Do you want high risk?
Okay.
Do you want high risk? Do you want low risk investment and all that?
So when the high risk ones are the ones that give you sleepless nights.
They give you sleepless nights, but they give you good rewards too if they succeed.
Oh.
So you need to define all those things. I mean, I don't know who you are. I don't know. Yeah, so all those things need to be defined. So if I see your risk level, and okay, this person, I mean, I can probably give guidance. I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not going to play that role. But within the realm of where I operate, I can advise and say, okay, maybe this is probably something you should be looking at.
Oh.
And again, so everybody's circumstance is different.
Okay.
But
like that.
the good thing is real estate. It's a vast field of opportunities.
Okay.
For me, it's just finding your own investment niche, just like we find career niches and business niches. We all have investment niches too, because there's certain things that just gels with us generally.
Oh yes. Yeah.
And I'm always like, let's define that from the beginning so that we don't run into trouble waters down the line.
Exactly. I mean, from what I just got is obvious. You don't. I mean, even that you saved money and said, I want to go into house owning. Don't just jump right in. You should be able to have a goal as to what kind of investment you're looking to do. And probably how it's going to be down the road.
Yeah.
So what are options? I would say probably okay. Let's come to this part of the world now, right? Somebody who will I say it's kind of new in town. By new in town, I don't mean you just came last week. You've been here for probably a few months, going to a year. You're getting to the point where you're thinking to yourself, oh, maybe I want to get to that next level. With this little I have, how can I move forward in terms of gearing towards owning a home?
Wow, so that's an amazing question, because that speaks to the heart of what we're trying to do in the business right now. Get more involved in the community, be able to identify and meet with people who have the desire to start the journey of homeownership. So basically, let me start with what do you need to even buy a house in the US. I mean, let's start with that. That's the basic. You need 2 years work experience. So one of the things we have also started doing also is, yeah, the basic rule is you need 2 years experience. But just to speak to the situation you
Yeah, I was
mentioned,
going
like
to say, because what if I'm not up to 2 years
yeah,
in the town?
exactly. So
Okay.
let's say you just came, say maybe just you just came to the US like 6 months ago and you just started working. Say for instance you were a banker in Nigeria or from Ghana or somewhere. There's a way, as long as you can pull your work record. Oh
Oh,
yeah, we can leverage that. We've helped a few
oh,
clients.
that works
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah. I
Oh,
mean, I
awesome.
just say so the old goal. So the old definition of the mortgage is the reason. I mean, as a matter of fact, you're getting a loan against your income, and your house is security for it. So the loan is not against your house; it's against your income. So what the lender wants to see is, okay, does this person have a track record of producing income?
And the ability to pay
And the
back.
ability to pay. That's what would define. That's what will tell us you can pay back, because now we know you've been working and we're earning this much for the past 2 years. That means if you continue to earn, and we know you're going to keep increasing in wealth and all. I mean, all of those things are kind of part of the parameters that I use to determine, okay, how much you're pre-approved for,
Oh,
because
I
we have
see.
seen we have seen the trajectory of your earnings.
I
So based
see.
on the trajectory of your earnings over the past 2 years, they can create a model around your finances and say, okay, this is where you should be. You should, and again, and there are kind of rules around those things. But let's get to the basic: 2 years work experience, 2 years tax returns.
Tax returns as paid in the US.
Yeah, tax filing. Okay, so now let's go back to that. Since you have not even lived in the US for two
For
years,
that year,
but
yeah.
have you paid tax where you're coming from?
Oh, yes. There you go. Okay. So while you pull the record from the person's home country, you still pull the record for tax payment as well.
So that's a more lender thing. It's the lenders
That deal
yeah,
with
that
that.
deal with all of that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a realtor. I don't really get into details of that, but I know we have lenders who have helped build, who have helped clients like that to buy houses, and they have run that track before.
Awesome. Okay. So basically, you just need at least those years of experience. I would say about 2 years, you said.
Yeah, it's not about 2 years. It's 2 years. I
Two
mean, yeah,
years. There you
yeah,
go.
it doesn't
Okay.
change. 2 years, home or abroad, and of course, you need a fairly good credit. You need a fairly good credit. Now, to speak to the other part of that, the B part of the question, you said, oh, if someone has like 1,000 or 500 and they're thinking of starting the journey of home ownership, you see, when all of these parameters are in place, your 2 year work experience, your 2 years tax filing, and you have a fairly good credit, you might even be in a place where you qualify, if your credit is good enough, be in a place where you qualify for down payment assistance.
Oh.
Yeah, because with
So
that,
there's a provision for that
oh
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Minnesota State. I mean, depending on your financial profile, allows you. I mean, it was probably still disbursed up to like anywhere between 15 and 17,000
Oh,
to
that's
cover
good.
down payment and closing cost. But your credit needs to be in the right place for you to
There you
qualify
go.
for
For you to be able
that.
to.
For you to be able to access that.
Yeah.
But bottom line is, and there are cities even in Minnesota. I mean, from Brooklyn Park to Shakopee, there are different cities who give them grants as incentives for people to move into their city.
Oh, there you go.
So,
So the
yeah.
state could even have its own program, and the counties itself would even
No,
have their own
cities. I mean,
program.
not counties.
The
Cities.
cities
Yeah,
would have their own
yeah.
program.
The state does have one, which is the Minnesota Housing Fund, which gives you up to 50, anywhere between 15, depending on where you are on the spectrum. And so other cities now, just so they can attract people to
There
their
you
cities, they now give
go.
more incentives.
Oh, and
So
that would be the city where you're going to look for the
at the
house.
house, exactly. So
Okay.
eventually, when you now have a house, when you find a house that you love, you're not looking at the city like, okay, what grants do they have
Oh
that you can tap
yeah,
into?
there you go.
So some of those opportunities are there. Some of those opportunities are there. It's just a matter of people understanding that, okay, you don't need to save so much. I mean, for especially for first time home buyers, you really don't need so much.
Just have all of these basics
Just
in
have all
place,
in place,
and
yeah,
you're good to go.
and you're good to go, pretty much. Yeah.
Awesome. So viewers, I'm hoping that that's something that we can take home today, because again, like we've seen, home ownership is I don't know what word to use. It's a generational wealth. Yes, it's a way to it's a lot of things that you can get out of doing that. So if you're in the right standing, just like he said, 2 years at least of work history, get out there and seek help. You should be able to talk to one or two persons, especially realtors like himself, to be able to guide you through on better options to take. All right, so great that you talked about that, right? So let's talk about return on investment now. I know you did mention different kinds of investments. You can buy and flip. You do Airbnb, and all of that. What's really like the return on investment? Do you have to wait years to be able to see something tangible? Is it something we can start getting right away? What's the return on investment?
So when it comes to return on investment, first I would say you speak to a financial advisor yeah.
Okay.
But you see, you meant return on investment, right? For me, it's a function of your investment strategy. Someone who is doing a fix and flip is probably just looking to fix that next house, flip it, and make something out of it. someone who's building a portfolio and doing a long-term investment is just looking at how they can build equity and how that equity can compound over a long period of time.
Okay.
Every investment strategy has its own
Has its own.
gestation period, and of course the resultant and return on investment.
Okay.
So I mean, you really can't put numbers to it until when you have all the blocks together. But the good thing is, before you make an investment, there are softwares. There are spreadsheets. You can literally plot numbers into and see if it's be a good investment before you even go into it. Before you even go into it.
Yeah, and I like that you said that because it's good to make sure you do good consultancy on what's the next best step to take.
You see, you can't overemphasize that.
Yes.
And I'll just say this. I'll just say this again because I had an incident this week of a client calling me. We've been trying to do a transaction together for like over a year and a half. But it's just kind of flip flopping and all of that. So anyway, he just called me out of the blues. I'm like, oh, he just bought this investment somewhere. I don't want to mention the city, but it's like a tourist destination in the US. This, that. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, Lord. And he told me how much he put down, about 140 grand. And the moment he mentioned the city, and I looked at how much he put down, and he told me the description of the house. I'm like, okay, I'm like, okay, this. You see, I know what he was trying to do because even when he was telling me, he was trying to be very secretive, like, oh, like I should promise that I won't be sharing information with people. But the truth of the matter is, because everything was shrouded in secrecy. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not sure you look at the numbers.
There's only so much you can do.
Exactly. I'm not sure you check the numbers really good.
Yeah.
Because just without even pulling out the calculator, I know. I mean, you already told me how much you're paying in mortgage. I know what the average rent is in those places. I just need to go on Google. So, but you see, sometimes people it's always, especially when you're making a huge investment, when you're putting the monies you've saved over a period of time.
You need to ask.
You want to ask. I mean, listen, there's never too bad to ask.
Yes.
Let somebody who knows better be able to guide you. And let your decision be okay whether you take the advice or not, but be guided. And especially now, there's so much data that can help you.
Exactly.
There's just you don't need a prophet. You just got data. Just pull data from that community. From every house in America has history.
Exactly, that's right. And this information are quite accessible today. Yeah, compared to how life was back in the days.
So I'm like, you see, if you spend so much time saving, accumulating that money, you just don't want to go throw it out. You want to make sure, okay. I mean,
Yes.
If you don't have the information, if it means paying somebody to get you the information that you need, paying it some stipend is better than you losing your whole life.
Yeah,
savings.
I like that. It's worth it. Some people, they would always tell you, what you're not spending to invest in, don't hope to get so much out of it. So why are you not, considering that as an option? Seek help, ask questions from the right consultants to be able to get the right information.
And you see, whatever kind of investment you're doing, whether it's real estate, whether it's stocks, whatever kind of investment, there is always somebody that's done it before or that knows a little about it more than you do in that field.
Yes. Yeah.
If you don't have someone you can refer to, there's always YouTube you can pull up. There's always a podcast. There's always something.
I like that. YouTube. YouTube has become our friend today.
Oh, I tell you. So if as an adult you're not researching on YouTube, or I don't know what
I don't know what you're doing. That's right. All right, awesome. So viewers, we've heard a lot today. There's just so much in this business, and obviously, like you said, don't rely on yourself and the much that you know. It's always good to ask, especially for those who have gone ahead of you. Yeah. Maybe the folks in this field or people who probably have gone through the process. Seek help, ask questions, and that way, you can get the right guidance on the best investment to make. I know you have been in this business for 5 years. Mm-hmm. Just tell us how you got here, because I don't think it's been so easy for you on your own.
It's been quite a journey, but I still consider myself a little lucky. I got into real estate by peradventure. It wasn't like I had a plan that I was going to get into real estate. I literally just got into it by chance.
Awesome.
Even though I will refer to it as a guided chance, but it was still chance and all the same. But the turning point for me was just understanding the enormity of responsibility. Because the moment I got into real estate, I just saw the level of trust that comes into play when you are helping people through the real estate process. Because people are entrusting you, people are buying houses 300, 400, 500,000, and they're trusting you to be able to. It's a huge investment. So I knew the number one thing had to be integrity. First of all, they should be able to trust you. It's a non-negotiable one. Secondly, if you're not focused. If integrity is not a thing for you, chances are that you'll be misled because it's an industry where you get to and you're like, okay, there's money, and the next thing you start.
Next thing you say, you overdo it.
Yeah. So but for me, the full realization was just so much. Was much more about people seeing people who work hard, families who work hard, and who still can afford to buy a house. That was a pain point for me in the industry. So and so the moment I got started, I'm like, okay, I'm going to invest in the community. Invest in the community in terms of providing tools and resources for people in the hardworking families. I mean, listen, I mean, you probably have a good idea of this. The average African immigrant here works like 2 jobs.
I was going to say, I like the fact that you mentioned people have been here for years. And funny enough, that's a true story.
Oh, yeah.
Some people have been here for years, 10, 15.
15 years.
And they don't have anything to say, this is my...
And they work hard every day.
Okay.
And so what you find out is when you begin to engage with them is either they have bad credit issues or some financial management.
Somehow they just shy away from trying.
It's just sometimes they feel like some of those things are insurmountable, and that's why I've told my team, like, we have a responsibility to this community, in the real sense, and
so it's not just making money.
It's not just making money. It's about, you see, what matters is saying at the end of the year we've been able to get 20 new families who never thought they could be homeowners, getting into that for me will be
that's fulfillment. Yeah. I like that.
Like through our hands, we're able to get this much family. I mean, and we deal with that on a daily basis. That's why closing days are always probably one of my happiest days, because the day they get the key, you can see that smile on their face.
Like, yeah, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So it's a huge, especially the fact that we're in the US. I mean, owning a home to yourself in the US. The moment you take mortgage and rent out of your expenses in America,
you know what it is. Okay.
So for me, it's about just building those relationships and giving people the tools and the resources they need to be able to get to that place where they can make a buying decision.
Yeah.
And what I tell people is this: like, there are people you meet and they'll tell you, "Oh, I can't buy a house because my credit is bad." I'm not like, "Oh, you see what, you're true." That's so true, because but the truth also is that you may not be able to buy today, but if you do the things that you need to do in the next 6 months or 12 months, you get there.
You can get there.
So basically, all you need to do is some adjustment. I agree with you. You may not be able to buy today, but the truth of the matter is, we just need to fix a few things. And I see people, especially couples who have been committed, probably make some financial or lifestyle changes, and a few months down the line, they feel like they're better for it.
Things are turning around. Awesome. Great. I like the fact that, it gives you that fulfillment. This is something that you've dabbled into, but yes, you can see results and the smiles that it has brought to different families.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So if somebody's trying to reach out to you, somebody may be listening to us today to say, hey, I hear my story and what you said today. I've been here for 10 years. I need to get into owning my own home. How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, I mean, the easiest thing would be to shoot me a text or call. My phone number is 763-401-0478. And our website is squarefootage.house.
There you go.
But the phone call is or the text is always the easiest way
Awesome.
to reach out. Yep.
And I'll be putting that on the screen for us as well, and also the website and probably any of the social media handles that's available as well.
Yeah.
All right, so what would be let me say, if you're talking to a family listening to you today, maybe a family, maybe a person listening to you today, and the person has been saving money in the bank. Some people just say, let me just put it in a savings account. What would you advise, someone like that? Again, you're not a financial advisor, but then, coming from the home standpoint, how would you advise people out there listening to you who obviously don't have any house to their name, especially in a country like this, with a lot of savings in the bank?
You see, that's a good question, right? So my response to that question is this, because that's something we're working on. So one of the things we're trying to do is to create an investment forum where people can gather together and just hear people, and we can invite people who are, say, for instance, in real estate, I can come speak about real estate, or say someone who knows about stocks and come talk about, or maybe, and you see that there's different opportunities. I just want to create a forum where we can share different investment opportunities, and you can pick the one that you think will work better for you. That's one. If you haven't had your own first home, I'll say that's where to start. Start with your first home.
For yourself. Okay.
Start with, and you may not want to. Like, I had a client who just closed on a duplex right now, and he's not even living in any of the duplex. But the thing is, because it feels like it's making more rent. It's collecting more as rent from one each unit than he's paying as rent in the other place. But he knows that he has a house, so he already has that sense of fulfillment. He's already set a goal for himself that in 6 months he's buying his next house.
Oh, awesome.
Because he defined he said his goal is he wants to just keep building a portfolio.
So that's the person's goal.
That's his person's goal.
Because I remember you said, what is your goal?
What's your goal?
Yeah, there you go.
So the moment I mean, I didn't tell him about it. He just told me this is what he wants to do.
Yeah.
He's a young man. He's like, okay, I'm not even 30 yet. I want to keep buying whatever my money can buy till I'm 40.
And keep going.
And keep going. You get so. That way, I'm not trying to convince him and say don't do this. He's already, so my goal is to help him achieve those benchmarks he has set for himself. So I would say start from somewhere. Start with your first home. Feel that sense of fulfillment that I could have a home to myself, because that changes the whole thing for you.
Yeah.
In the real sense of it, and have a growth mindset. And when I say growth mindset is, don't think, oh, okay, I've bought this, I'm cool with it. Because I see people just, when I talk to people about wealth building, they're like, oh, I have a house already. And I'm like, oh.
Okay. What next? Okay. I like that.
Like, oh, is that it?
Yeah. You got to be progressive in thinking.
You have to be growth minded.
Yes.
Listen, we are still young right now, right? We can still work. We're going to be like 60 and 65.
Work while it is day. Okay.
So,
I like that.
Yeah, where's the, I mean, I don't know, maybe some people have some retirement account that will sponsor their older life when they get older.
When they get old.
But I mean, do whatever you can do now that you have strength.
Awesome.
I mean, that's just what it is. For me, the moment you have it defined, it becomes a whole lot easier. But don't. I mean, my own is just don't put your money in the bank. I mean, it's a loser.
Oh, really?
It's a loser. I mean, the interest rate is not even up to inflation. It's
and
a rate of inflation.
True,
so you're losing money just by keeping it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You can have a savings in the account for the whole year, and you just have like $14 added to it.
Added to it. Like, the rate of inflation is high.
Yes.
So I mean, you see, so that's one of the motivation for creating this investment forum that we're working on right now. It's just so we could have a plethora of ideas where people can come, where you could just throw in, like almost like you're on Twitter and you're saying, or on social media, and say, please, what can I do about it? And somebody can tell you, okay, listen, I've done this before, this is what you should be doing, and all of that. Where we can have someone who knows about investment come run numbers and let you see, okay, listen, this is the rate, this is the interest rate.
This is how it works.
This is how it works. I mean, for you to make money on your money, it should be above this much rate of return. Because for you to make money, you need to be above rate of inflation.
Okay. Okay.
If you're not making money above the rate of inflation, that means you're losing money.
That's right.
So if inflation is at 7.5 or 8% and your interest in your bank is 2.3%, you know
what are you doing? Okay. All right.
I mean, awesome. Yeah. So all of those things are there. Okay. Another thing I'm seeing a lot of people do is we African immigrants. The first thing we want to do is go build one major house in
back
Africa.
At home.
And waste don't say waste. Spend like 3 years of investment building a house you probably never live in, or you visit once in a year.
And if you're not lucky, you might have people not
even
do it the way you want it to be done. We've heard stories of
and the story and the real truth of the matter is all of those houses you're building there, you're paying 100% out of pocket. Meanwhile, you could buy a house here with like 5%, 10% out of pocket, and the government and bank to finance it.
Yeah, the bank will finance the rest.
That means that same 200,000, 100,000 that you used to go build one house, you could actually have bought 2 or 3 houses here. Because yes. Okay, so there's OPM, or using other people's money, and there's OPT, or using other people's time. You can leverage both.
Word. Okay. Word. All right, awesome. So we've learned a lot today, viewers. I don't know if you are, a first-time owner or yet to be a first-time owner. I'm sure a lot of things from today, will trigger you to think twice, on the money you have saving in the bank. Yep. So some of the few things I feel we learned today. Obviously, don't stack your money in the bank, especially when you don't have investments. Yeah. And one good investment we've learned today is owning a home. Obviously, absolutely. And all the things that come with it. And to own a home, especially in this part of the world, it's not like it's rocket science, so to speak. Yep. At least have a good working, you said 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years work history.
Work history. And obviously, like the example which I just cited, even if you were just a year in the country, there are possibilities where, they could retrieve this information from, your home country, wherever it is you're coming from. So there are lots of options on the ground. Just don't stay, thinking that you can't do it. You can. And you will, right? So
absolutely.
you will. So the whole idea is to push us all together, hold our hands together so that way we can all gear towards owning, things that would help us get a better society for ourselves and for our friends and family around us. So viewers, I hope we've been able to learn a lot today. We don't have all the time in the world, unfortunately. We have to let him go as well. But again, thank you, Olu, for sharing such wonderful, wonderful information with us today. We greatly appreciate that. And thanks for
Thank you so
coming
much.
and thanks for coming on the show. All right, viewers, thank you guys for hanging out with us. And hopefully we'll see you guys in our next video. In the meantime, enjoy the rest days ahead.
Awesome.
Thank you.